Shri Advaita, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Good morning, good evening, good night. Okay, one day passed by. Days do pass by almost as quickly as that as well, don't they? So that's why Srila Guru Maharaj says we must live in the present. Yesterday it has passed and gone, and tomorrow is a dream. It isn't there yet. We think, oh, it will happen such a way. So we must live in the present. Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakampitam Scha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare. So welcome everybody on a beautiful morning in Vila Govinda Ashram. On a beautiful morning in, how do we say, Vila Govinda Zoom, but not Vila Govinda Zoom. A beautiful morning in the Vaishnava Zoom. Chaitanya Sarasat Mat. Heart to heart Zoom. Back to basics. And actually, back to basics. We are always just the back to basics, something like that. But the thing is, when we join the temple, we do learn lots of things which later on slip away. We learned quite a few slokas, Bhagavad Gita slokas, Upadeshamritam, the 10 offenses against the holy name, and all these things that we regularly go through. And they are forever. And just like we learn one mantra, 2 mantras, they are forever. And it's not that, okay, we've learned Hare Krishna. I'm so smart. I learned Hare Krishna, and now I don't have to repeat Hare Krishna or consider about the wonder that is there. So also the instructions that have been given to us, then that guidance we really need to keep in our heart and keep all that awake. And then what will be in the future, that's wonderful. But just to talk about the future, okay, that keeps us going in the right direction and is part of our sadhana. But it's not everything, because we do need to live the life that we are talking about. So here you are, you're all living the life. We're on back to basics. And did we have something left over from last time? 6 limbs of surrender and 10 offenses to the holy name, perhaps? Sevarupa's nodding. Nobody else is not nodding. Okay. 6 limbs of surrender or 10 offenses to the holy name. Aparajita Devirasi in northern Thailand. Have you learnt the 10 offenses to the holy name? Yes. Okay, good. Would you like to say them for us fluently? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat everyone. Yeah,
Dandavat.
yeah, very happy to see you all. And yeah, I can say the 10 offenses, but I cannot say like maybe it's not in the order or maybe it's not like the same way
Okay,
correctly.
you try. Don't worry, you try.
So the first, the first one is not like like the name kind of don't compare the name of Krishna with the other demigod or yeah.
Okay, that's one. That's one of them, not number one, actually.
Oh, okay. I think I'm not sure about the order and don't don't make offense to the Vaishnava and
Yes, also that is one of them, and that is number one, in fact, to make offense to the Vaishnavas. So yes.
yes, yeah, I think I will I'm not
Okay.
the order but yeah. And then I don't think the name of chanting Hare Krishna is a mundane thing.
Correct. Yes.
And yeah, don't don't teach people who don't have faith to chant the holy name. And um, let me- um and mm,
Okay, Aparajita Devidasi, you have a little homework to do, and maybe some others here are feeling, oh, I hope Madhusudan doesn't ask me. Or maybe in the meantime, they got a little cheat sheet to read. Oh, yes, I have this cheat sheet. Anyhow, Aparajita Devi, no problem. Do a little homework. You do have that cheat sheet, as it were. And if anybody doesn't, I can give a link to some different cheat sheets that we've had. Krishna, Krishna. Okay, I've got the link. There's some different cheat sheets, as it were. That's not a nice name, is it? Cheat sheet. Some different ways of remembering the holy, the regulations, etc., the guidances. Oh, look. Oh, Kumkum, she's put her 6 limbs of surrender here. So she's already given everybody a head start. Didn't put any sign that don't tell Madhusudan. So there we are. So Kumkum has given you already a link for each of you for the 6 limbs of surrender. So that kind of defeats my next question, which is going to be, who's going to volunteer to say the 6 limbs of surrender? But the 6 limbs of surrender are quite straightforward. They're not, they're not difficult. Well, nor are the 10 offenses to the holy name. But we can say them in Sanskrit so that we've got them together. I don't know whether the sheet that she's given you a link to is in Sanskrit. Let me just take a quick look. Click. What happens? Something happens slowly. Slowly and not together. Come on. Okay, it's come up. Okay, here's the Sanskrit as well. Anukalyasya shankalpaha pratikulya vivarjanam rakshishyati vishvaso goptrite varanam tata atma nikshepa karpanye shad vidha sharanagatihi. Govinda, Govinda, accepting everything favorable to devotion to Krishna, rejecting everything unfavorable to devotion to Krishna, being confident that Krishna will grant his protection, embracing Krishna's guardianship, fully offering oneself to Krishna, and realizing one's lamentable lowliness are the 6 limbs of surrender. Hare Krishna. And then after that, we have Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Commentary, is it? No, Srila Guru Maharaj commentary. And then, oh, okay, and then from Prapana Jivanamrita. Got it, got it. Well, we can go through this because here is Anukulyasya Sankalpaha, accepting anything that is helpful for obtaining Krishna. And then you see that these are the chapter titles for 6 of the chapters in sequence. And so no coincidence that the first verse of the chapter with the title Anukulyasya Sankalpaha, accepting anything that is helpful for obtaining Krishna. Then we have Krishna Kashnaga Sad Bhakti Prapanatva Nukulake Krityatva Nishchayas Chanukulya Sankalpa Uchyate. Resolute conviction to execute everything favorable to the service of Krishna, to his devotees, and to surrender is called Anukulyasya Sankalpaha, acceptance of the favorable. So there we have the definition of that acceptance of the favorable. So similarly, the first verse of the next chapter, which is entitled Pratikulya Vivarjanam, rejecting anything that is an obstacle to obtaining Krishna. Then I'll actually save you the Sanskrit, but I'll give you the translation. I mean, save you the Sanskrit, I'll save you my reading of the Sanskrit. Okay, so quote, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, this is directly Srila Guru Maharaj's own composition saying what is a rejection of the unfavorable. And that is in English translation, resolute conviction to abandon everything that is opposed to the service of the Lord, to his devotees, and to surrender is called Pratikulya Vivarjana, rejection of the unfavorable. So basically you've got the same word, very similar wording, resolute conviction. One is to execute everything favorable, and the other one is resolute conviction to abandon everything that is opposed to the service of the Lord, his devotees, and to surrender is called Pratikulya Vivarjanam in this case. Then Rakshishyatiti Vishvasa, faith that Krishna will assuredly grant his protection. Then the Sanskrit verse translation. Certainly Krishna will protect me because he is the true friend of the devotees. He will definitely bless me with all good fortune. Then Srila Guru was saying, herein such faith is sustained. And then the first 2 verses of the 6th chapter of Goptrite Varanam, embracing the Lord's guardianship. And then a lively first line, no doubt. Hey Krishna, pahi mangnata, kripayat magatam kuru. ... So quote, O Krishna, please protect me. O Lord, kindly accept me as your own. Then we are saying, this prayer to obtain Sri Krishna as one's master is the supreme source of satisfaction for the hearts of the pure devotees, and is known by them as Goptrite Varanam, embracing the Lord's guardianship. Because it expresses one and the same ideal as Sharanagati, Goptrite Varanam is accepted as the basis, Angi, of surrender, and the other 5 elements are considered its limbs. And interestingly, we've just been reading about this, Srila Guru Maharaj explaining this further in his illumination of Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita. All right, Atma Nivedanam, or next chapter, Atma Nikshepa, self-dedication. Okay, it reminds me of a question that came up this week, which I just need to look back on. Okay, Prapana Jivanamritam. Atma Nivedanam is known as the condition of having offered oneself to Krishna solely to satisfy him, while being devoid of possessiveness and false egotism. And now Karpanya, experience of one's own lamentable condition, sometimes given as simply humility. But here we are, and then again the first 2 verses of the chapter with that title in Sri Sri Prapana Jivanamritam. Bhagavan Raksha Rakshaivam Artha Bhavena Sarvataha. O Lord, please protect me, protect me. Praying thus in a mood of distress, while remembering in all respects the greatness of the mercy of the Supreme Lord, the unparalleled ocean of compassion, and remembering in particular one's own extremely lamentable lowliness. This distressed condition of the devotees is described by the learned as Karpanya. O Lord, please protect me. Please protect me. Praying thus in a mood of distress, while remembering in all respects the greatness of the mercy of the Supreme Lord, the unparalleled ocean of compassion, and remembering in particular one's extremely lamentable lowliness. This distressed condition of devotees is described by the learned as Karpanya. Hare Krishna. And okay, so then, well, we'll finish reading this. It's just a little bit longer in this short article. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the invocation of auspiciousness within Sharanagati, gives Dainya Atma Nivedana Goptrite Varana Avashya Rakibe Krishna Vishvasha Palan Bhakti Anukula Matra Kajira Svikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Vajanandikara Shadanga Sharanagati Hoi Vejara Tahara Pratana Shune Srinanda Kumara. I hope that's a little familiar to almost all of you, if not all of you. And translation given here, Srinanda Kumar. Srinanda Kumar. This is the boy of Nanda Maharaj. That's Lord Krishna, just to be clear. Hears the prayers of whosoever surrenders unto him in accordance with the 6 limbs of surrender. So hearing the prayer part of that part we just read is actually the last part of what we just quoted. Shar Anga Sharanagati Hoi Bejahara Tahara Pratana Shuni. Their prayer, he hears Srinanda Kumar. He hears that. So the last part first in this translation. And what are those 6 limbs of surrender? Humility, self-submission, embracing the Lord's guardianship, maintaining the faith that Krishna will surely protect me, engaging only in activities which are favorable to devotion. 6, utterly rejecting everything unfavorable to devotion. So they're given in a different order there, but they are there. And sometimes devotees ask, why this way around? But we are happy. So then, okay, just a little bit. In his commentary on Sharanagati, Srila Bhakti Rakakshira Goswami notes that Sri Nanda Kumar hears their prayers, Acha, that we just read, means Krishna reciprocates with the surrendered souls in accordance with their prayers. As an example of this, Srila Sridhar Maharaj cites the following evidence from the scriptures. Sakrid eva prapanno yas tavasmiti cha yachate abhayang sarvada tasmai didamyeta devratang mama. So this is from the Ramayana. And when Vibhishan, the brother of Ravana, prays to the Lord for shelter, Ramchandra, the Lord he prayed to, proclaims before Hanuman and all his devotees the following. He proclaims, so Ramchandra proclaims, anyone who even once sincerely surrenders unto me, declares, I am yours, and prays for fearlessness, it is my vow that I will always supply that to them. Hare Krishna. Well, we've had a little more Sanskrit than usual in our morning beginning of the back to basics. But Sanskrit, Srila Guru Maharaj, completely fluent in Sanskrit. It's not that he was trying to produce something in Sanskrit in a like a foreign language, but he was fluent in Sanskrit and fluent in the presentation, everything. And so hence so many of his original Sanskrit verses are there in Sri Sri Prapana Jivanamrita. And as we hear from Srila Gurudev, Guru Maharaj was so fluent in Sanskrit that at home they would speak Sanskrit. Please pull over the chair. They'll say it in Sanskrit. I mean, they are talking it in Sanskrit. They're communicating. It's not just speaking, but they're communicating in Sanskrit at home, which is pretty amazing. And the whole of the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, I think almost all, I think there are one or two slight exceptions because there are a little bit of the Brajabasi speech in there, I think, and maybe Kumkum or Sri Lekha can verify that. But the vast majority is in Sanskrit. But not only that, the vast majority is in Sanskrit poetic form. And that's all astounding. We all think we're fluent in English or Portuguese or Afrikaans or something, or Thai, but try having a conversation with your family, asking for things in verse form in the language which you're familiar with. Might be a little tricky. And then if someone were to analyze the verse form, they will see it's not really verse form, perhaps. Or lucky, this verse was actually in proper meter. Hare Krishna. All right, 6 limbs of surrender. And in that link that I gave in the chat, then you'll find 6 limbs of surrender and some other things too. I look and see. Oh yeah, this is for Vai. Sorry about that. This is for Vaidehi, because she wanted these. Okay, what is there is there. Yes, 6 limbs of surrender is there. So this is going to be in a slightly different form. This is with some keywords to help us solve. Okay. You are welcome to take whatever is there. Hare Krishna. Okay, that's a beginning, happily. And our very beginning today of the Back to Basics was good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, which was meant to apply to the devotees around the world, but then suddenly reminded us of, yes, this is how quickly the days go by, just like that. So today, perhaps we'll say good afternoon or early evening or evening to Sri Lekha Devidasi. Use my cheat sheet being the mobile phone here. Oh yeah, 7:30 p.m. Sri Lekha Devidasi, 7:30 p.m. in Salt Lake City. What did your day teach you about the 6 limbs of surrender and the 10 offenses to the holy name?
Well, actually, Gopchutre Varanam, Srila Guru Maharaj, excuse me, Dandavat Maharaj, and Dandavat to all the devotees, and Kunkundi, everybody. I'm so thrilled to be here every time. Gopchutre Varanam is something that, it is understood by the melting of the heart, because he really is our guardian. And Guru Maharaj said, just remember that this is a wonderful thing. I've been listening to a talk by Srila Guru Maharaj quite a lot, because, I put some in my car and then I'll hear them for a long time and then I replace them a little after a while. But Guru Maharaj is saying, offer everything to Krishna and don't think ahead of time what will be the result of that. He said, you cannot understand. He said, the infinite will take that offering and mold it to his own will, and that will be the result. You can't anticipate that. We may have some idea what I think should happen, but it's always to be molded by him, and then the result will come to us. And he's saying, and he is so dear to you, you can't imagine. And so I was thinking about this quite a lot in the last couple of days, because when we, like, if, sometimes there are some talks about how to, they're like, how to be successful, or how to be, how to make your life more productive, or all these kinds of talks, motivational talks. But that you have an idea, if I do this, then I'm going to be this. But this is very different from that, because we don't know where Krishna is going to take us. We don't know what we're going to see, because we just don't know it. And that is very much, I feel, an expression of Gopchutre Varanam, because we're giving ourselves, we're trying, we're practicing. Of course, we go into our habitual reactions to everything. I mean, I do. But then I think, oh, wait a minute. This is your will. All of these things are your will. So what is it that you want me to do? Because you're my guardian. Whether I like those things that are happening, my mind has decided this is good, or whether I don't, it's still coming from my guardian. And I think that this process, or this remembrance, is the essence of the melting of our heart, to really be able to perceive what an astonishing guardian he is, how clever, how wonderful, how sweet. And only through surrender can that living thing happen. That is the conduit, or the line. Gurudev one time in New York, when we were in New York a long time ago, And he said, we've got the television set here, and we've got the outlet in the wall, but they don't, there's not going to be anything happening unless you plug it in. So that plugging in, that is those 6 limbs of surrender. And then we can start to feel that life. And the other thing I would mention today, Marge, that I was thinking about a lot is in that forward to the Prapana Jivanamritam, which I really do feel, I'm going to push this away, my face is so big. I feel it should be made into a separate booklet. I'm thinking about how to do this, Maharaj. And I was going to talk to you about that, but it's so brilliant. And Guru Maharaj is saying that there is no, I don't know if I'll quote it properly, but I could look at it, but he's saying that there's no satisfaction. There's not coming this level of satisfaction in the heart of the surrendered soul, meaning, okay, I got it. I did that, I got this thing, and it's mine. It's like that's kind of death. But there's in surrender to Krishna, that never ends. It's always progressive and it's always positive. There's never end, there's no end to it. That is the life of devotion. It's always increasing. There's never any satiation point where, okay, got it. It's always this progressive, positive, progressive immortality. It's always continuing. It's the process of surrender is the process for the conditioned soul and the life of this liberated soul. So, I mean, I was just thinking about that couple of things. And as far as my day goes, I'm constantly trying to remember these things if I can. If no, I mean, I don't constantly try, but I'm trying to constantly try.
Constantly trying to constantly try.
Because she's poking us where, remember me?
Well, in our yesterday evening, something popped in my mind. In our yesterday evening, I saw in the corner, by the way, we had 30 devotees here last night. So and already 3 of them have gone this morning. They just said goodbye before our back to basics, going back to the USA, in fact. So anyway, we had 30 devotees here, and we've been having a festival, just the everyday festivals as it goes around. But then there was this loud singing in the corner of happy birthday to you. And they were doing all this singing to a little piece of plastic called a mobile phone on the table. And then, whose birthday is this? It was Sri Leka's birthday again.
Yeah.
It's Sri Leka's birthday. So we can take this opportunity. I think because it is evening there, yesterday evening, I think probably we can all wish her a happy birthday. With Vaishnava thoughts. Saying this also, we are now, I mean, I'm in the West, we're all sitting in the West here, more or less. We've got Muktinath Prabhu with Aparajita Devidasi, we've got Rupanuga Prabhu. They're over in the East, but most of us are in the Western world. And Priyanana's in the East also, she's in Thailand too. Oh, and Pavan and Radhasundari. Okay, lots of you are in the East. But those of us in the West, birthdays are one of those times, like we just had Christmas, one of those times where there's a lot of goodwill and some remembrance. But for the devotees, actually, in Navadip, we never followed anybody's birthday except Guru and those appearance days that are in the calendar. But still, it's a time to share. Because of the tradition in the West, it's a time to say happy birthday and send Vaishnava good wishes. Reciprocation way. We can't bless the seniors, but we can always have goodwill for everybody. Surely it is the case. So to Sri Leka, we can say happy birthday with the good wishes of all the devotees here. Hare Krishna.
Very much.
Hare Krishna. So being your birthday, you didn't get any special realizations this year? Oh, just you're trying to always remember, to try to always remember the Lord's guardianship. Yes. Okay, got it. Kom Devirasi. Please, we are humbly coming to you with humility, knowing the magnanimity of the Vaishnavas and how we all need each other and we need the Vaishnavas. Kom Devirasi. Let us
My
hear.
Dandavat to you, Maharaj, and to Sri Lekadi on this very, very happy day for everybody who gets her association. We can really count our lucky stars. And so this is definitely a special day. And the particular, I was struck in thinking of these limbs of surrender as discussed by Guru Maharaj, the completely amazing depth of our Guru's desire to help us. And so thinking of Karpanya, the experience of one's own lamentable condition, and how this is very positive when we hear from them about this. It's very ironic. It's the exact opposite of the way things are in this world, which we may be trained from birth to never think about anything lamentable or how low we are, but to always boost our ego and what do they call it? I forget, because our gurus are expressing this humility as the most positive. And this took me to think of struggle and how common it is for everyone, and also for devotees. We don't think that we won't have any struggle. And I found in Heart and Halo an entire chapter called The Sweetest Struggle. And so when a devotee is asking Srila Guru Maharaj if our condition, meaning our constant and ongoing state, is to struggle, and Guru Maharaj answered, when a devotee is trying to conquer his senses, when he is trying to conquer the influences of kam, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy, at that time, he cannot avoid that struggle. Progress means a struggle of different kinds, and that happens in the stage of madhyam adhikari, the intermediate stage. Generally, that is the time of difficulties. In kanistha adhikar, in the lower stage, one does not concern himself with the stage of his progress, or if he is getting devotion or not. With a peaceful mind, he is engaged in archana, deity worship, or whatever may be his service. But when the stage of madhyam adhikar begins, real struggle begins in one's life. He will have to adjust many things, lokiki, vaidiki, vapi, not only regarding his devotional life as advised by the scriptures, vaidiki, but also his social position, lokiki, his ordinary dealings, his quarrels, his relationships with society, with education. So all of these things are so encompassing for the situation that we're in. And I was thinking what a great Christmas present this is from them, or to prepare us for our thinking of the new year. How much guidance they're giving to take us into this very positive way, but to at the same time to be very, very realistic about how our situation is actually lamentable, and that's why we will happily struggle under their guidance. Their desire to assist us is overwhelming. We can't, at least I can't even begin to capture, to understand and appreciate how strong their desire to assist us is.
Jai. Beautiful Kumkum Didi. Even if we don't know English, even if we're fully not knowing English, they'll be very happy to hear your words, hear your heart. And we have to struggle. Everybody's struggling in this world. We have to put effort forward. And also, I thought perhaps you were going to make that a quote or share the expression of Srila Gurudev, where for an athlete, if they don't feel pain in their legs, then they're not trying hard enough. If they're running like this, just cruising along, then they're not going to win the race, as it were. Yeah. It's not that we're competing with others, but we should be so focused, just like an athlete is so focused. And how much surrender, how much sadhana do they do to try to get the goal of their ego? The goal of their ego, to get the golden prize, isn't it? Gold and silver and bronze or something. Oh, gold medal, to get a gold medal. And they strive for that, giving their full life to that. So let us. So yes, sorry, I'll be quiet. Yes.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking of the way Srilekha was explaining that we're constantly going forward. The progress is constantly revealing itself to us, that opportunity. It's never that we feel like, well, now we've arrived. And we do see those examples, even for some advancement in this plane, athletes or whatever. It's always going to be a struggle. And so for us, it's a very pleasant struggle, actually. It must feel like now I am being embraced by the Lord. He's guarding me to make sure that I'm not going too far this way or getting too confused. He's keeping me close.
And Priyanana Didi put a realization actually in this sense. So she says, so interesting. You might think that peaceful position is a proof of advancement. But here we see that struggle is for the madhyami.
Yeah.
Or for the madhyam, sorry, it's not an E, that's because I'm wearing spectacles. That's an exclamation mark. And then Sevarupa has put a quote from Srila Guru Maharaj. When a devotee is trying to conquer his senses, when he's trying to conquer the influences of karma, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarja, lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy, at that time he cannot avoid that struggle. Progress means a struggle of different kinds. And that happens in the stage of Madhyam Adhikar, the intermediate stage. Generally, that is the time of difficulties. Hare Krishna. And I've got a little quote here. Anyway, this is given in the Upadeshamrita. But the entire life of a sadhaka should remain ornamented with surrender. In many places in the Bhakti scriptures, the 6 limbs of surrender have been explained. Without surrender, the jiva's life is useless. The jiva should begin. No, the jiva should engage in bhajan for Sri Krishna, being ever surrendered. Why begin was in my mind, because elsewhere I was saying that the beginning, middle, and end of a devotee's life is surrender. We need to surrender at the beginning constantly, and we will find that our natural position forever is to be a surrendered soul. Are we ready for that? I think we are. But Maya is very strong.
But they are very attractive, our guardians, their kindness.
Oh yes. And by the way, Ganga Leela, she's put in, and an athlete after winning the gold then falls into a low, whereas we keep on going. Hare Krishna. Or the athlete, how many times we've been in an older person's house, and they got all these medals or whatever it is on the shelf, showing when I was young, I was the winner of this and winner of that. I was this, I was that. But that's living in the past, isn't it? And we see, and Srila Prabhupada uses that expression, embarrassed by birth, death, old age, and disease. The richest man becomes embarrassed by the diseases, becomes embarrassed by old age, and becomes embarrassed by death. In the sense, oh no, I'm not eternal in this world. Hare Krishna. Yes, any question from any quarter? And to all the devotees, by the way, on Facebook, we're very happy to have you with us. And I've got 2 connections today, so we can see you. We can see some of you who make a comment. I can't see those of you who are quietly watching. But we're happy to know that you're there. And to Mathura Basini Devi Rasi on the Facebook, and to Madhava Prabhu, and to Nirupama Devi Rasi. They I can see because they left some comments, some obeisances to everybody. And to those who are on the recorded version, seeing the recorded version, of course, who I cannot see, but we're very happy to be available, and that you're available to be a lizard on the wall, not a fly. A lizard is considered as quite auspicious. A lizard on the wall in our association. And sometimes I felt like that when I was hearing like just things which were beyond my understanding on Guru Maharaj's veranda and Gurudev's veranda. Sometimes I felt, well, I'm like a lizard on the wall, and I'm listening to their conversations, and what I catch, we catch. What we don't catch, we don't catch. But just to be in that environment, it is very valuable. And the walls, everything of the places where such kirtan has taken place. Kirtan means wholehearted glorification of the Lord. Where that has taken place, that until today it is very auspicious. And that's why people go to holy places. And yesterday, by the way, we went to a place which was Montebaro, and this is Montebaro here in Italy, where we hear from the devotees, because I wasn't there were like something like 100 devotees from around the world came when Srila Gurudev came there, from around Europe, from Eastern Europe, the Russian side, East Bloc countries, and from the Americas, from UK, Ireland, from everywhere devotees came, and they rented that big place with lots of rooms, and the hall, the roof, the church. It's got their own attached church at Montebaro. We went there yesterday, and I actually said to the devotees, I don't know if I'm sentimental or not, but really it feels so auspicious just to remember, just to know that the kirtan of Gurudev and so many devotees took place here day after day. All these trees, big trees that are there, they've heard that kirtan, the building itself. And is it Marco, I forget the name of the man, but that the one who's managing, he's still managing, like the caretaker, the feet on the ground caretaker man, he's still there. And he says, you are the best people we ever had. Oh, that was such a wonderful week. And they get they get good people there in the general sense, because it's the mountains, and in the mountains you generally get good folks who at least know they've got to use their legs to get there. etc. So we were there yesterday with the devotees and feeling very auspicious. But wherever we are, if we can be in that kind of association of Harikatha, it is important for us. And another chat in the chat box. Click and go, click. Priyanana, please tell us more about the Karpanyam. Jamunacharya has many sweet quotes. Yes, Priyanana, which quote touches your heart of Jamunacharya? I see you spell it with a J. Yes, you may do. Ja. Priyanana, do you have a particular quote from there?
Oh, Maharaj, actually, all of them. I cannot even remember something in particular, but when you start to listen, it's like, please accept me as I am, like with all the faults and all that I have. Or I'm not sure it was Yamunacharya, but another one was like, or it's maybe not Karpanyam section, like when one sells an animal, he doesn't care anymore about like feeding him or giving some nourishment. So the surrender is like this. When you surrender to the Lord, it's like your body is like a sold animal. You do not take care of it anymore. And there was something else where also this, how do they say, like heart swallowing quotes of the same mood. But I remember it was like one after another. Jamunacharya was, I wanted to say he was posting it. Jamunacharya was from this source. But maybe you can just share your thoughts on this topic. I cannot say.
I can
now.
share a quote or two because I'm in that chapter of Karpanyam, and here's Sri Jamunacharya with the introduction to the verse. So we've got Srila Guru Maharaj's introduction. Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, and then this is introducing the verse by Jamunacharya. He's saying, even to pray for the Lord's servitorship is felt like an impertinence when the glory of the Lord is realized by his mercy. Then this is from Jamunacharya. Fie on me, an impure, impertinent, hard-hearted, and shameless fellow. O Supreme Personality, simply governed by my whims, do I care to aspire for your servitorship? Do I dare to aspire for your servitorship? A position practically inconceivable to great powerful personalities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the four Kumars. Will that do?
Yes, definitely.
Hare Krishna. And yes, you're quite right. There's a series of such verses. And so hopeful. Here's the very next verse in the series. So we're in that chapter, which is chapter, not sure the number, but the chapter on Karpanya. And here Srila Guru Maharaj introducing the next verse, which is by Jamunacharya. Despite thousands of personal defects, a devotee can never check his desire for the Lord's service. And the verse, uncultured, mean, fickle-minded, envious, ungrateful, proud, subservient to lust, or subservient to lust, oh yes, deceitful, hard-hearted, and sinful am I. Perhaps we should have had the I am at the beginning so everyone knows who's saying this. So uncultured, mean, fickle-minded, envious, ungrateful, proud, subservient to lust, deceitful, hard-hearted, and sinful am I. O Lord, how will I ever be able to cross this insurmountable ocean of misery and attain to the service of your lotus feet.
And it's interesting how such, so to say, hopeless expression give you so much hope.
Hmm.
We cannot, of course, say that we at least we stay in a good company, but like at least you feel that you're not alone, that someone else knows the same things that you know. Oh, Shilekha Didi, you wanted to say something as well.
I was just thinking that because in when we Guru Maharaj said I didn't mean to actually, I was just, but Guru Maharaj is saying that we have to see every event as the necessity for my progress at this moment. And those incidents might be really, really difficult for us to face our mind and just say, my Lord, this is your grace. You have put me in this little boat. I'm going down the river as you like. I don't know what the result will be, but it is your beautiful grace. And that because we can see suddenly clearly who the enemy is. Some clarity is there that this tendency in me is my own fault and it is the cause of my trouble. Then really when we really begin to accept that and see that clearly, that prayer comes out a little stronger. I feel that all those prayers that we're chanting every day in the temple become more alive. And I think that is the grace of Sharanagati, or even our little attempt at it, that we realize how dependent we are upon the Lord. And it looks like a hopelessness, but we're giving up the false hope of our own ego and endeavor and taking complete shelter of the Lord. I mean, at least we're trying to do that. And that is really feels like the life of our practicing. Otherwise, it's kind of just doing things. But that life has to be there. That inner life has to be there. So we're trying to remember that. And it is so important for us. And as we were saying, and as Kumkum Didi was also saying, that after that stage of Majjhima Adhikari, where there's just so much, the fight is on, and we start recognizing, oh, I thought I was an innocent victim of a terrible place, but actually I am fully responsible for my own problem. And but when that stage is ended, then Srila Guru Maharaj said, then very happy surrender is there, but it becomes super dynamic, like in the field of Leela and so many things. But anyways, I wasn't going to say all that, but
a living life of devotion, not a book life or book life. We get our grace. I mean, we get grace from the books, but living life of devotion. So Sri Lekadidi is waking us up to look at our songbook, look at the books that we've got by Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada. And we're always singing, we hope, that first song, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kori, which is the invocation to Sharanagati. But there's another 49 songs after that, dear devotees. And it is good to go through that 1 plus 49 equals 50 songs of the Sharanagati. At least once a year, somehow or another, we've got to fit in Sharanagati, Bhagavad Gita, the Navadip Dham Mahatmya, Navadip Dham Bhavataranga, Brahma Sanghita, We have to try to fit all of these books in throughout the year, somehow in our daily programs, as well as everything else. But Sharanagati is so important, and it's such the book itself by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is such a leveler of our heads. I mean, level-headed, but leveling our heads in the practical life of devotional service. And then, of course, Pusheshri, Prapana Jivanamritam. All of these we need to go through, like every year, at least every year. Hare Krishna. And now we're on the theme of Sharanagati today, and the 6 limbs of surrender, and everyone's going to do homework, aren't they? So that next time, just a few days' time, we can all fluently say that at least the 10 offenses and the 6 limbs of surrender. Good idea? It's our basis of devotional life. It's happy to remember these things. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. We do need to remember the Lord, but need to remember the guidance, the basic guidance upon which our rocket can go. We are concerned with the launching pad. We are those who need to make our launching pad safe and firm. This is Gurudev's example. We'll look after the launching pad. From there, the rocket can go. Those above, they look after that rocket, but we need to look after the launching pad. We've got ourselves here on the ground, and that launching pad is made of these items. So the 6 limbs of surrender, and the 6, 6, 6, 3, 3, conclusion, and then wonderful persons, destination, and etc. of given in Upadeshamrita. This is our foundation. And then Prapana Jivanamritam, Srila Guru Maharaj quotes every word, every verse of Upadeshamrita in his Prapana Jivanamritam book. And in the Lagu Chandrika commentary, the gentle moonlight commentary of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati, that commentary by Guru Maharaj, he is quoting these verses of Upadeshamritam too. Then when we go through Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati, we should go through with that gentle moonlight commentary and let that gentle moonlight soothe our hearts. And if you're not living in a hot country, you probably don't know how soothing the moon can be in the evening. But this is why the moon is used so often. Moon and other reasons, the moon is nourishing, giving nourishment to all the plants, the sap of the plants and everything. And the moon has cool rays, whereas the sun, cooling, soothing rays. But the sun's rays can be quite strong. So the gentle moonlight commentary, and we all know what is gentle moonlight, cold country or hot country. All right, dear ones, let us all continue our day, our morning, day, afternoon, evening, night. And let us remember that the days are running by quickly. Let us be sincere students. Let us be serious students. Let us allow ourselves that our life will go the way that our masters want it to go. And let us remain always within Harikatha, glorification of Guru, Vaishnava, Vishnu, and of course Krishna, Shastra, Seva, Sharanagati. Always these topics must be there. And we don't need to hear any gossip or engage in any gossip about anything, either mundane or devotional. We can only want to be in the plane of hearing and chanting the glories of all the glorious devotees. glories of surrender, the glories of the opportunity of this moment, which is our connection with Radha Krishna, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who wants us to come home and has arranged this so perfectly, of course, but through the great acharyas who've come to bless the world just now. And here we are under their shelter, under the umbrella of their protection and the umbrella of their showering down mercy. Jai to those guardians, those wonderful guardians, Om Vishnu Parshila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai, wonderful Om Vishnu Parshila Bhakti Rock Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai, wonderful Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai, wonderful Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. The most generous dispensers of the mercy of the most merciful Lords, Shri Shri Nitai and Chaitanya Dev Ki Jai. And Jai, our Navadip deities of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundar Ki Jai. And Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, the golden example, pure example of devotional service, the mat of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, of their gift, their example. Ki Jai. And Sri Navadip Dham, the most powerful of all dhams, especially in Kali Yuga. Ki Jai. Sri Gangamai, who delivers all the fallen souls. Ki Jai. Or all souls. Ki Jai. And Jai Sri Jamuna Mai. Ki Jai. Jai, all the auspicious things. Ki Jai. Okay, dear devotees, let's continue our days and we'll meet again very soon. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavad. Wishing you successful Seva week. And as always, if you need something from the chat box, please catch it before it disappears. Diving deep into Sharanagati, surrender, an interview with Sud. An interview with Sud. But it's Bhakti Lalita Devi, that's the picture there. I don't know what's the
Sudarshan Prabhu. Sorry.
Oh, it's an interview with Sudarshan Prabhu. Okay. Oh, well, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy them all out and let's just see. Let's see where they brings us to in our day. And Pavan Krishna Prabhu from beautiful Chiang Mai. Yes, it's beautiful because Krishna made it.
And that's
Even
such
the Guru
Welcome to the Hari Katha podcast. I'm Bhakti Lalita.
Oh, okay.
And today
we found out what happens when you click on that Zoom, on that link. And Pavan Krishna Prabhu, even a totally unqualified person is not unfit to surrender. That's Srila Guru Maharaj's introduction to Jamuna Charja. O Supreme Refuge, I am not religious. I do not know the nature of the soul, nor have I any devotion for your holy lotus feet. Therefore I am bereft. I am bereft of all good, and I am bereft of any other shelter. Such as I am, I surrender unto the dust of your lotus feet. What a wonderful way to end our gathering today with this. And to each of you, super to see you all. Stay safe under the shelter of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga and the holy name, and we'll meet again very soon. Gaura Premanande, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari.
Dhanyavad, everybody. Dhanyavad.
Hari Hari.